Yeah, you know what time it is. It's time for the Geekenders podcast. MegaRan, Jesse and Dodger, what up? Let's go. Yo, it's the weekend. Yeah, it's time to geek out. Let it begin. Go on, stream and shout. It's Jesse and Dodger, so give them a follow and see what the Geekenders are all about. Yo, it's the weekend. Yeah, it's time to geek out. Let it begin. Go on, stream and shout. It's Jesse and Dodger, so give them a follow. #1 geek podcast, without a doubt. Yo, another end of another long week. Got a job and a kid, I know that you all beat. So take a second, grab a drink and vibe while we catch you up in just a matter of time. On gaming, comics, whatever you're doing. If you're nerdy like us, then you know you should tune in. Thank you for sharing our world with us. Now follow, subscribe, and turn this up. Yo, it's the weekend. Yeah, it's time to geek out. Let it begin. Go on, stream and shout. It's Jesse and Dodger, so give them a follow. #1 geek podcast, without a doubt.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Geekenders. Our final Geekenders of the year.
I think it is. I think that's it. And then we're done. It's the 27th, yeah? And then we're finished.
Goodness.
If anything, it's been a full year. It's our first year of doing this show.
Oh,
look at us.
That's quite sweet. When did we start this?
December 2023.
Really?
And those are those are the beta episodes. Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. Look at us go.
I know.
An actual podcast, dude.
Crazy. Who would have thought that we'd be here 50 some episodes in and you would still want to watch? If you're being forced to, good. I hope whoever's doing it has you tied down and you can't look away and they're just putting on repeat, because that would be awesome.
Clockwork Orange style.
Yeah,
this
like
will
holding your eyes open with
you
hooks.
Eventually.
Yeah. I don't know what you and I reprogramming people would look like per se.
Me neither. It would not benefit society whatsoever.
No, it wouldn't.
But, you know.
But it would be funny.
It would be.
Not on a societal level, but on like that's kind of cute. Like, yeah, you're watching, it's a podcast. Not like
that's
societally that'd be terrible for all of us. We would really ruin the fabric of really just civilization. But on like a fun level, it's kind of cute.
That's a cute, funny little thing we did. A little oopsie doopsie.
Yeah. And right now, someone's got their eyes hooked open and they're watching us be like, oopsie doopsie. And they're like, no. Like,
oh, show you.
Make it stop.
Doopsie.
No.
Yeah, it's their villain arc. Their villain, if they've got their eyes peeled open, their villain arc started a while ago. But this is definitely contributing to it. Yeah.
Oh well, what are you gonna do?
Oopsie doopsie, if you will.
Oopsie doopsie.
Yeah. How were the holidays, buddy? You made it.
I did. Great as usual. My Christmas was very simple. Hung out with the parents. We all gave each other exactly what we wanted, because this year we were like, what do you want for Christmas? It was real easy, very simple. And then went home and started packing. It's moving time for old Jesse.
It's moving time. So, he's doing it.
Literally, when we're done here today, movers arrive at my apartment to move the big things I cannot move. So
fantastic.
Thankfully, it should be quick. It's just gonna be. It's like bed, dresser, TV stand, bookshelf.
Are you taking the
desk.
couch, or did you decide to say goodbye?
I'm tossing the couch. The couch is gone. I love that couch, but it's 15 years old. It is crumbling in places that couches shouldn't be crumbling. It's had a good go. Love that couch. Yep. It's had a fine run. Big fan, but time to go, couch. So
all right. Goodbye,
not
couch.
much.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, not much actually moving, but what I did realize is that I have a lot of little crap things, and once again, Marie Kondo Jesse kicked in, and I was like, what can I get rid of? How do I get rid of this stuff? And it's only because I hate moving so much. I would be fine moving if it wasn't for the amount of just like bull crap I have in my apartment. That isn't like...
At a certain point, it feels better to just be like, I'm just going to can throw this away than to move it from point A to point B. Yeah. 100%.
I must stress, I realize that over the years I've accumulated, and again, I'm not this guy, but I've done enough bits online that I have exactly 4 kigurumis. I don't wear them. Why do I have them? What is the point of them? I don't want them. And so I was like, what the? They take up so much space. I just got to keep moving these. Like one day I'll dress up like a skeleton again for some reason. Like, no, we're just going to give it away to like charity or something. I'm done with them. So that's what I've been doing. I've been discovering, I found a jacket that was given to me at an event years ago from the show, or not show, but movie Rogue One. And it's a really cool, it looks like Andor Cassian or Cassian Andor or whatever. I look like a badass.
Yeah.
Except that is 3 sizes too small. And I've never worn it, not once. But in my mind, I was like, one day I could. Why do I have that? So
sure. Yeah, I have multiple times said to Sam, hey, maybe go through the jackets you have, because one of the things, for whatever reason, that companies love to send people is like jackets. And it's nice, right? But eventually you get to the point, and this is like a silly problem to have, but you get to the point where you're like, well, I can't throw away the Cyberpunk jacket, and I don't want to throw away the Valheim jacket, and but this Witcher 3 jacket is so cool, right? And you just have all these cool jackets, which again, great. But we currently have a closet that's like, I have 2 jackets, Clark has 2 jackets, and Sam has 15 jackets. Most of them are like just cool game jackets, you know?
I have exactly, based on last count from this move, exactly 12 t-shirts. 12. Very pleased with that. However, I have roughly 22 jackets. And they're almost, I was like, what am I going to do with all these jackets? I don't wear them ever.
Oh my God.
They're like, and so this is why I do giveaways on the channel. I just give away stuff that I've gotten. The problem is I'm a big boy. And so not everyone out there is rolling with a 2X, 3X jacket. Most people are like, large, please, or small. I'm like, well, I can't help you there. Yeah. So I got all these damn jackets. But yeah, I was going through it and I was like laughing because in order it was Endwalker jacket, Final Fantasy VII Remake jacket, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth jacket, Final Fantasy, like Dawn Trail jacket. And I was like, I got so many jackets, all from just Final Fantasy. Not to mention the Witcher jacket that I have, the Cyberpunk jacket that I have, the jacket that I have from Wolfenstein. Like I've got all, and I'm like, here's the thing, I love them all. I don't want to get rid of them. They're so cool. I don't want to get rid of them, but I'm like, what am I gonna do with these jackets? I got so many. I love them all. I love them all.
And like, I know with t-shirts, when people have like limited run t-shirts sometimes, or like a signed t-shirt, they'll like frame it. But the difference in thickness and ability to frame a t-shirt versus a jacket is like trying to figure out how do I turn this cool jacket into decor is, I don't think, as attainable or makes as much sense. So you're still kind of like, I guess I'll leave it hanging. I don't know. I even think about my wedding dress all the time. Like I run in my wedding dress, I run into all the time in our house. And I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, I don't know what to do with this anymore. There's a lady that I saw who will take like old dresses and turn them into lampshades, like really pretty lampshades. And I was like, might be cool to send my wedding dress to somebody to like turn it into a cool thing that I could use. You know, that might be a nice idea, because I have no attachment to keeping that dress as a dress. And it's in the way. It's just, it doesn't have a home. It's too big.
It doesn't remind you of the sanctity of your wedding vows.
Not really. No, it's beautiful. I love that dress.
You don't look at it and say, I remember that day, the day my father and I almost fell in the mud.
We did.
The day that Jesse got
it's funny.
so drunk
that's
that he sweated on a bed and wished for death.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't think about that when you...
I mean, I do.
Oh, good. Okay. Well.
Yeah. I think the second I see my wedding dress, I think to myself, remember when Jesse got really drunk at my wedding? It's the first thought I have.
I had to keep up with the Brits. It was an American pride thing. They kept saying, like, "Hey, Yank, you want to drink this?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I do." And they're like, "You're not too bad for a Yankee." And I was like, "You're not too bad for a posh Liverpoolian."
For Pudlian?
That's what I said. That's what I said to them, yeah. And they were like, "Cracking, Yank." And then we drank more. And then we flew 1942 style fighters together. And we...
Yeah. My favorite part was when everybody was wearing ties on their heads. That was the point where I was like, and maybe the bar should close.
You set up a wedding in which the wedding ended at, like, I'm going to say noon, and we were there till 10 p.m. We drank for 10 solid hours. That was on you.
To be fair.
And then you kept feeding us.
Yeah, that was the thing, right? Is Sam and I were like, okay, the wedding is going to be fine as long as, like, the actual ceremony can be a shit show and it's fine. But, like, as long as there's tons of food to eat and good music playing, then it's fine. We're good to go. So Sam's number one priority with our wedding was to make sure that there was always food.
He nailed it.
So there was tons of food.
When there was no food, suddenly food would appear. And we were just like, yeah. Because, you know, we was like, man, I've had so much to drink. Oh, what is that, pork? And then that's it. Yeah, you're good. It's great. Yeah. Love that wedding. That was a good time.
Thanks. But anyway, I don't need the dress anymore, is the point. If for some reason, if at some point Clark wants to get married and is like, I really wish that there was like a part of your dress that I could use or whatever, I'm keeping the cape, the like hooded cape thing that I used instead of a veil. I'm keeping that for her. But the actual dress, I'm down to just give it to somebody and be like, chop it up, turn it into something cool. I don't know.
Have you considered Halloween costume? Bloody it up. Go around the neighborhood being the widow. Be like,
I don't think it would sell. I think it would need to look more like a normal wedding dress to sell.
True. I forgot that we did go to a Hobbit wedding. I did forget about that. The wedding between a Hobbit and an elf. And to this day, it's my favorite wedding story. It might be the only wedding story worth telling about how the Hobbit and the goblins side. One side was dwarves, hobbits, goblins, ogres, and the other side was beautiful elves. And it was very obvious who was there to see who. It was very clear which part of the family was what, and whose friends were who. And we were over there like, yes, good wedding, yes. And the other side, it was like, oh.
It was good vibes. I loved it.
Yeah. It was great. I love that wedding. That was my favorite wedding I've ever been to. And it was like, look at the beautiful people over there. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
They're all so gorgeous.
Yeah, they weren't like, who are you here for? Which person? They were just like, weirdos on this side. Yeah.
Normies on this side.
Normies on this side.
And they floated over to it like, oh, they're just like, what?
Yes, good.
Yeah, it was like all the best men and bridesmaids. The bridesmaids were kind of like you would summon creatures of the forest, and the groomsmen all were like, I am a soldier who has fought in 7,000 wars, and I am a male model, and my penis pleases the world, right? And then like there were all these guys looking like amazing, and then it was like, come to me, and like birds flew down to you, like the critters of the forest were your handmaids. It was crazy. That was an amazing wedding. Yeah, I loved it. It was great.
It was fun. We should do that again. We should do that again, but in America.
Do it again. Yeah.
Yeah. I've honestly been thinking to myself, like, when Sam and I hit like, I don't know, 20 years, assuming neither of us is like, I don't know,
the worst,
kicked it or murdered somebody. Yeah.
Oh, right.
then when we hit the 20-year mark, we should do like another big fun thing, but in America, since we made everybody fly over. I think that would be fun.
I would love if you did some sort of 20-year, although 20 years way off. I'll be dead by then, killed in the water wars.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Who even, so much can change, and that'll be another what?
For you, what is that, 13 years? 13?
Clark is turning 7. We got pregnant almost immediately after the wedding, which is so embarrassing. So,
12?
yeah. It'll be like,
over a decade
years or
at
something.
least. Yeah.
It's a ways off, dude.
I'll have died in the corporate wars trying to ensure that stockholders.
Corporate wars?
Yeah. You know, the line must go up, and so we must die in the front lines for the shareholders. I'll sacrifice myself for them, but the fraction of a percent increase in stock will have been worth it, I think.
I believe you.
Yep. They'll put me on the front lines, like send him in Suicide Squad. They'll be like, all right.
The holidays went fine for us too.
I was gonna ask about your holidays, but then I realized nothing is as important as what happened last night in regards to cheese and your husband. Because word on the street is
I was just complaining about this, okay? Because I got set up. He came to bed and was like, I just did a banger tweet about you. And I was like, what does that mean? Was it mean-spirited? And he said, no, it was just funny. Later, I read it. And it was something along the lines of, I'm scared to go to bed because my lactose intolerant wife matched me pound for pound in cheese.
Yep.
But I ask you, who do you think got done putting the gremlin to bed and immediately just started bringing out every single bit of cheese in our house and putting it on the coffee table? It wasn't
Sam,
me.
Clearly.
It was Sam.
But why did you say, I'm going to get me some of that cheese? Even though you know Milkies make you poopies.
Because it looked delicious. He grabbed the camembert. He put the camembert in the air fryer. What am I supposed to do here?
Not
he toasted up a bunch of bread. He brought a bunch of different types of crackers. He was like, let's go. And what? That was supposed to just be for him? Absolutely not.
You're right. Marriage is about an equal partnership, and if he's making delicious cheese and crackers, then the assumption is he's willing to exist in a world where your stanky farts stink up his entire life.
He created a situation where he knew in the end I was going to eat a bunch of cheese. And he said, by putting it in front of me and giving no other option of thing to eat, he said, without words, I'm okay with whatever happens here.
So you're telling me that Sam loves your stinky butt toots. Sam set up that scenario.
He loves everything about me.
Right. He set the whole thing up so he could get them sweet toots. So he could get them stanky butt whiffs, is what you're saying. He set it up because that's what he wanted in the end.
He likes the farts. Yeah, I'm
willing
to say that.
He wanted to nosedive to Butt Town.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, okay, great.
Yeah,
I think that's what you should have retweeted. Sam, the only reason why we ate that cheese is because you said, "Take me down to Stinky Butt Town," and that's what happened.
Take me down to Stinky Butt Town would have been a absolutely incredible response.
I mean, you can do that right now. You know what? I'll allow it. If you want to just take the time right now.
Just take a pause.
To retweet that.
No.
And say, all right, I'm just saying I'm trying to help you. Because everyone knows marriage is mostly waged on the internet. It's about 50% internet-based marriages these days. Man. So if you really want to communicate, you got to get them. You got to get them.
Yeah. That's so true. If you don't have strangers laughing at your relationship, are you even in a relationship?
Yeah.
You know?
Are you even? Yeah. What is love except to be mocked by strangers?
Exactly.
Yeah. Why bother?
I will say my kid's big gift this year was a hoverboard.
Oh, that's right. You keep making me think when you say this that you mean
about Back to the Future
2 hoverboard, but
right.
no, you mean like
no
board you hold on to, that's skateboard, right?
Board that is kind of like a skateboard except it's self-balancing.
Oh,
and you just put your feet on it, and then you lean forward to go forward and lean back to go back.
Oh, it's like, motorized?
Yes. Well, yeah, I guess.
Is it? Wait, it's not the two wheel. It's still a skateboard.
It's a big wheel on either side. It's like a Segway, except you don't hold on to anything.
A Segway with no handles. Oh, yeah, okay.
Basically.
Yeah, I see people with it.
Yes.
Only in movies, though. I've never seen it in real life.
Yeah. So
Your kid's like from a movie.
Sam and I went back and forth for a while about whether or not this was a safe gift for my kid. Because if you'll recall, I was talking about us going ice skating last week and how she does a lot of roller skating and took to ice skating really well. And Sam was like, I honestly think this is going to be easier for her than either of those things. And I've tried to use one of these before, albeit as an adult, and I was terrified. I was absolutely shitting myself. Like, I can't even stand on this thing without dying, right? Mm-hmm. So, anyway, in the end, Sam was like, let's just go for it. So we did. These things are built for little kids, I think, because kids aren't worried about falling.
No.
She learned how to use this thing like she's been on it her whole life within about 5 minutes. And she's now zipping all over the house on this weird pink Segway machine. And it's fun. It's weird, but like...
I don't know. I feel like the older you get, the more you let creeping anxieties ruin the fun of learning a new thing.
Sure.
And there's something... Like, when I was a kid... My dad to this day will be like, you could have killed yourself. Oh my, like everything I did as a child. A great example is he will always tell the tale about my friends and I took our bikes and rode them into a pit. Like they were doing construction on our street and there was a ramp leading into a pit and the pit was filled with water. And we thought it was so much fun to go off the ramp and take our bikes into the mud water. And we were like, yeah. As an adult, looking back, I'm like, oh, there could have been all sorts of crap in there. There could have been sharp objects that would like just brutally murdered us. Like, terrible things. But as a child, did I think about that? No. Did I care? No. We just were like, there's a ramp and there's water. Let's go. And I think that's the difference. Is a kid will be like, well, I don't have to think about those things. Meanwhile, the adults are like, what?
Yeah. Something that has been fun though is just letting my kid be the teacher, because she kept trying to convince me to get on there. And I was like, I'm going to die, dude. But in the end, I did. And it's been fun just kind of letting her be like, okay, here's what you're going to want to do. Right. And sort of like talk me through it. I did 100% fall and hurt myself once. And she immediately was like, Mommy, are you okay? Like, oh God. But I think kids, especially when they start to get a little bit older, kids really like opportunities to be sort of like in the grown-up role, you know? Mm-hmm. So to just be like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm kind of scared, to be honest, to ride on this thing, and have her be like, I'll hold your hand. I'll help you. You know, it's like, okay, sure.
Do you also think that's a Sam thing? Do you think that's some like stripping DNA in there? Because to me, I keep trying to think about everything I know about Sam. Like he'll always tell tales about like, well, when I was younger, I was in the mountains doing this thing, or I was over here in this country or this country. And I'm like, brother, what age did this occur? Because you had a like life before I knew you. You were like gallivanting around doing. I'm like,
Yeah.
What, was that for a year? Did you do that? And it seems very like built in to have a child who would suddenly be like, I'm about adventure and doing things and I like to move. It just seems like that would be the case.
I don't know. I guess. I do think
or is it just a child thing?
I do think at this point there's some, like we were saying last time, there's some foundational knowledge, right? Mm-hmm. For her, it's like, this is yet another thing I put my feet in and move. Right? And I've done that in a couple different ways now. And I'm sure that this is no different, right? Or is similar enough.
Do you think that's why kids take the technology so much easier? Because they're like, F it, I'll just try it. And they just do. And because they're children, there's no expectation they'll be good at it. They just go like, yip, 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 and they press buttons. And then it works, and you're like, how'd you do that? And they're like, well, I learned, because unlike you, I wasn't like, this is hard, I give up.
Yeah, I don't know. Not to use the same phrase like 3 times in a row, but yeah, I think there's building blocks there, right? And maybe our building blocks are different, or we get hung up on an earlier rung. And it's hard for us to see the bridge, or maybe we didn't experience the bridge onto the new thing, you know?
Sure.
I do know that there are studies, not to get like existential, but I do know that there are studies out there about how people think of technology and how kids now think of them as like actual extensions of themselves, whereas earlier generations don't really. And it's because I don't have my phone, but it's because, you know, people walk around with their phone as though it's like a limb, which I think is interesting. So that inherently is going to make you think about technology differently, isn't it?
It's weird to me that we have a phone extension, we have all these things, but we still don't have, where's my glasses mods? We were about that for a little bit. We were doing a thing. We had like a whole, you're going to have AR and we're going to do Google Glass, and then just, it stopped.
Yeah.
Dude, all I do is wear glasses. I would love to have a little heads up display thing here that was like, in 25 feet, turn right. I'd love that. Are you kidding me? Why? I don't understand. We could have had something. We could have had it all, but I'm rolling in the deep.
I bet we'll come back to it.
Yeah. I hope it comes back, because I mean, if they can stick those stupid cameras, by the way, I hate that idea. I'm not a fan of the camera and the glasses
what idea?
Thing that Ray-Ban has.
Okay.
So I think you can get them at like Lens Crafters, but they have 2 lenses here, and you press the side and it records stuff onto your phone.
Oh, interesting.
Not a fan. Don't like that, because to me, all that means is that even more so everyone feels like they're being filmed. Like, there's a weird vibe. I'm not young enough to know exactly why, but when's the last time you went to like a concert or to like a big event thing, there's like a club? There's a weird vibe of like, everyone's a little concerned they could be on film at any time. So no one lets go. Sure. Like no one's like, screw it, I'm going to get crazy. Like it doesn't happen as much. And I'm curious if that's because at any point someone's like, you could be on TikTok, and people are like, I don't want that.
Yeah. Whenever I see a TikTok or a video of somebody filming somebody else across the room, my immediate thought is, did they ask this person if it's okay for them to post this video? And very rarely do you look below and see like, I asked them permission, right? Almost never. And like, I would hate that. I've been on camera for so many years of my life, and I would still fucking hate it if somebody filmed me and posted a video of me without me knowing they were going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's I don't know. It's a weird vibe to think that anything you do that's normal could be filmed and then mocked. You know what I mean? Like, I hate seeing videos where it's just someone living their life and then it's people like, it's like, what? The dude's, stop making it like, or the whole like, I'm at the hardware store and I'm going to harass random strangers. I'm like, oh my God, you guys suck. I will say the funniest thing I saw in the comments was Jesse, not at the metal shows. Metal shows don't have the metal shows are a different breed. You're all just from a different world. You're a different reality of people. You're somehow the most insane, nicest human beings that ever lived. You will at one point want to bash someone in some sort of death pit and then be like, "You good, bro?" Like you're like, it's a different. I'm not including you in the conversation. You're in your own box over here. You live your lives, you sweet little cherubs. Do what you do. I'm not even gonna. You're over here,
dude. I got into a mosh pit when I was like 18, I think, and 100% got knocked over, and immediately someone picked me up, put me outside of the mosh pit, and was like, "Don't come back in," basically.
It's a different.
But I was like, "Thank you."
Yeah, what's interesting about it is having grown up when mosh pits became a thing, like it's during the 90s, one of the things I'm sure it was before that, but mosh pit as a term was like starting to be used then. And as that would happen, at first it was like, we're bopping. And then it became like angry. And do I want to blame Limp Bizkit? Yes, I do. So at some point, it was like, Papa Roach, sure, you're getting blamed a little.
Sure.
But like it became like angry. And so I think there was a period where like, oh yeah, if you went in the pit, you were getting beat. Like dudes were coming to beat you up. And I think people realize, okay, there are people like that. So the only way to negate that is to be like very, very kind to those who get knocked down or get hurt or whatever, because otherwise the guy who's got that look in his eye, he's going to like keep kicking you while you're down. He came there to hurt someone. And so it's like, all right, that guy's an ass, but we're not going to be like him. And I think what ended up happening is all the like ass people kind of phased out because they were like, we don't even want you here. Stop beating people up. And then all that was left is like, hey man, I really hit you hard. Let me give you a hand and help you up. Like it's a vibe. It's a whole experience. I must stress, a whole experience. No, metalheads, you are not like everyone else. You are not included in this conversation. You're your own subset of individuals. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone else. I mean, people who went to see Taylor Swift. That's what I'm referring to. I'm talking about like the dude who, like the group that got together to go see like a movie or something. And they were like, look at, like that kind of thing. I'm not talking about you where you went to go see Iron Hatred live at the Palladium with Death Clatter and Revenge of the Moon. By the way, all great. You can take that. Metalheads, you can take that if you want to make a band.
Great band
Death
names,
of the Moon, that's great. That's great. Hell Sonata.
Sonata. Damn.
Hell Sonata. That's like one of those ones where it's got, for some reason, a violin and then opera singer.
I was just going to say the singer is an opera singer. That's
the singer's an opera singer.
Yeah.
But the music just wrecks your face. Yes. Yeah. Obviously.
Yep.
Hey, Dukes.
Hey.
It's the end of the year.
It
is.
I
felt like this would be a great time to sit back, relax, and talk about the things we enjoyed this year, what kind of games we loved, what
Sounds
we had really enjoyed and wanted other people to play, or what we thought were our best ofs of this year, things that just really made us happy. It's the end. It's whatever day this is, the 27th. And I felt like that'd be fun.
Yeah. I think that's
cool.
A great idea.
I will say, before we get into previous things, I just played a demo. It's called, and I think it's the team that made Let's Build a Zoo, but it's called Let's Build Dungeon.
Okay.
And what it is right up my alley. I love these types of games. It's so fun. I can't wait to play the real one. The demo's pretty quick. You're a game studio making an MMORPG. So you have to, 1, make the MMORPG, but 2, hire the team to keep it going, to build things, to create assets, to do all sorts of different stuff. It's straight up like video game dev, but an MMORPG. And the reason why I love it so much is because it is exactly what I think every MMORPG player needs to play. In that, if you think you're so good at making an MMORPG, then you give it a shot. Because it's a lot harder than you would think. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to put that out there. absolutely enjoy. It's called Let's Build Dungeon.
I also played a demo this week. Can I throw it out there before we get into fave games of the year?
I'll allow it.
Okay. It's called Wilmot Works It Out. And it's
Wilmot Works It Out.
Yeah. It's a game where you're a weird little cube person and somebody keeps knocking on your door to leave packages, and the packages all have puzzle pieces in them. And you're trying to create the puzzles, whatever the picture is supposed to be. And the second you finish a picture, you can put it up on your wall, but the pieces come out of order. So you'll get a package with pieces for like 3 different pictures, and you have to keep everything organized. The demo is pretty small, but I can see how it probably over time gets like, oh my God, I have 6 different paintings that I'm working on, sort of a thing. And you just decorate your wall with pictures as you finish them. It's cute.
The trailer does an incredibly good job of showing how it works. It literally shows the mailman show up, deliver a series of images, and then it's like, okay, well, one is clearly a spaceman, one is a hamburger, and one is something else, and we only have enough pieces for one thing. That's very cute. That's a fun little puzzle game. Also, upon first look, one of the most Dooger games I've ever seen in the history of video games. It's like, it is right up your puzzle alley.
Yeah, you can see why when Steam recommended it to me as a demo, I was like, download immediately, of course. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no, this looks great. And also watching him put together the spaceman, it's like, oh, I see. Or the hamburger, it's like, well, you thought it was this, but it's actually this. That's neat. That's very cool. I love those kinds of things.
It's cute. It's very cute. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Did you put together like a when in the year you played each game sort of a thing, or?
No, I just thought back over the year and said, what did I play? Or more importantly, what did I not play but somehow still love? Does that make any sense?
Okay. I guess so. You liked watching someone else play it, or you like that it exists?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did not and have never played Balatro. But I have watched so many hours of people playing Balatro.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is about that game. It's fascinating to me. I've sat there and I've been like, Octo, why did that give you those points? And what was that about? And how did that work? Same thing with, apparently, according to Steam and Twitch and all the different, end of the year things, most of the stuff I did this year was literally watch friends play games I would never play, but games that I don't think have a definitive story, which is crazy for me. So I watched Crendor play way too many hours of Kaizo Ironmon. Why? Sure. Not because I care about Kaizo Ironmon. It's because watching him fail over and over again is hilarious. Hilarious.
Yeah, I get that.
Octo playing Balatro, he was like, I'm going to do this thing that's going to net me 80 bajillion points. You're like, how'd that work? Why did that happen? And he's like, well, you see this thing, and this thing. I'm like, all right. Very cool.
Fair enough.
That kind of stuff. I have a lot of those games where I simply just watched and enjoyed. Big fan of that. Mostly because late at night, I'm like, I guess I'll just watch whoever's online. And those are literally the only 2 people online late at night on my friends list are Crendor and Octo. So those 2 get my views.
Yeah, I have a couple of games on here that I marked as being early access. So I enjoyed what I experienced of it, and I have full faith that when it comes out, it's going to be great and really fun. Okay. Hades 2. I did not play everything that Hades 2 has to offer because I was like, okay, if what they released with early access is already bigger than Hades, it's going to take me so long to get through all of this content, and I'm fine with that. But also, for some reason, there's a part of my brain that's like, should I just wait until it's all out then? How big is this game going to wind up being? Yeah. I kind of want to know what I'm getting into, I guess. But obviously, Hades 2 is gorgeous and super fun to play and is 100% the perfect follow through on everything that was built with Hades 1, which is one of my favorite games ever. So And also, on a totally different side of the spectrum, Trash Goblin is another early access game that I have had so much fun with, and completely differently from Hades 2. I think I exhausted all of the potential dialogue in that game that's out so far. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to cool it now. I'm not going to play it until it's out now. But that game is so cute and so chill. Yeah, I love it.
I mean, this is the lesson I learned playing Larian games, is that I can't do early access anymore unless it's a brand sponsored thing, in which case I got you, baby. But no, like when it comes to early access things, every time I play something early access, every single time when I complete the early access content, a like switch in my brain goes, bink, you beat it. And I will never return to it. I don't know how Divinity Original Sin 2 ends. I couldn't even tell you because I beat Act 1 roughly 12 times.
Right.
And it was like, well, that's all that's available now. I'm like, okay. And so I beat it and I loved it, which is why when Baldur's Gate 3 came out, I was like, I'm not doing early access. I don't want to play the first thing. I don't want to see what it was like before. I don't care. I'm going to wait till full release. And then when it released in full, I played 127 hours of that damn thing, and I loved every minute. So like, I simply can't do it anymore. And so while Hades 2 looks great, and I love watching everyone play Hades 2, I'm like, I'll wait till full release. I'm no dummy. If I don't, I will play it and then never pick it up again.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
Yeah. I also think with a game that's like as big as systematically big, right? Like it's big on the inside, story-wise, mechanically, whatever. Like Baldur's Gate and like Hades 2. There's always a question in your brain of, have I exhausted this for real? Or have I exhausted what exists right now? And I think part of you feels like you'll find it more satisfying if it's released and you know for sure, like, I did all of it, or I've pursued this to the end. There's no question of whether or not it's done. I know it's done because the game's out, right? So,
yeah. It's one of it. It also bugs me when going along those lines, what you're just saying. When, for example, I finally buckle down and say, "Oh my god, I think I can get all the achievements for this game." I'm gonna do it. This might be one of the first few games I get all the achievements, and then a DLC or expansion comes out, and then the achievement list grows, and it's like, you thought you had completed? You completed nothing, and you're like,
it's me and Hollow Knight. Yeah, 100%.
I was there, and they're like, no, you weren't. It was a mirage, and you're like, cool, all right. I hate that too. Yeah. Not a fan of that. Let me have it. I don't need your other achievements. That's, you know what? Bake them in the cake or don't, but don't just add them. Now I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
I feel you. Let's see. So, here's a game that I'll throw out there that I enjoyed, and DLC for it just came out. The Snufkin Melody of Moomin Valley game came out this year. And as a reminder, my only interaction with Moomin stuff up to that point was that when I had my kid, someone sent me the very first Moomin book, which is called The Great Flood. And I had read The Great Flood to my kid, which is like an oddly dark, weird story. But she liked it. So we read it quite a few times. And that was it. That's all that I really knew about Moomins. Okay. So then I played the Snufkin game when it came out, and I was like, wait, I love all these little weirdos. This is very fun and really cute, and I enjoy it a lot. And I've wound up now like reading a few more of the books and watching the show. And the Snufkin game wound up like mostly being my introduction to all of the Moomin media that's out there. Which is crazy because so many people grew up Moomins, and I did not. So, yeah.
I don't remember when this happened, but I do remember that was a considerable part of your life this year. Was you went down the Moomin rabbit hole?
I did.
And I don't know why this happened, but honestly, it is a fun development because they're so goofy looking. I love that that's the thing. Like Moomins and I am pretty sure we were descendant from the same thing, the same primordial fish. I'm pretty sure we came from the same place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so. They're weird little stove trolls.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I like that. I like that for you. Also, I wonder how that game did overall, because it seems very niche, but like,
I think it wound up being because people love the cozy game market.
Sure. And
when a cozy game comes out that really nails a vibe and is just like nice to play, a lot of people will check it out. I think the Snufkin game was really fun. The DLC was pretty short, but it was cute. The DLC literally just came out. So the fact that they released DLC for it, I guess, is a good sign for how the game did.
Sure. Yeah. I have to imagine if you're willing to put that much time into it. But also, you know, maybe, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know a damn thing about Moomins except for what you tell me. You are my gateway to the Moomin world.
Fantastic.
You're my Moomin whisperer.
I'll give you a small bit of trivia. Are you ready?
No, but okay.
None of the characters in Moomins are humans.
Right, they're Moomins.
No. Well, the little marshmallow people are Moomins.
Then what are the other people?
But like, what do you think Snufkin is? Because he's not human.
Snufkin is a Glorpus.
Sure. They're all little troll creatures. They're all little creatures. They're all little spirit creature
Frumpuses, Glorpuses, Gripnorps.
But here's what pisses me off. Ready? I'll die on this hill. Snufkin's original design has a tail and like a weird like snub nose and like fur and shit. And they got rid of all of it. They humanized him so much. Give him his tail back. When you read the books, all of the characters have paws. Give them their paws, dude. Why do they gotta look like humans? It upsets me.
So we can relate to them
little creatures.
More. So we can, by seeing ourselves inside of these little creatures, what they go through, we can understand as being relatable to us if they look like us. The little fleshy frumpuses.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. The fleshy frumpuses, the glorpuses, and the Moomins.
And the Moomins.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I will say that if one of the games that I want to give a shout out in the indie scene, UFO 50.
Really?
UFO 50.
That was like 50 games in one, right? I didn't play that.
Mm-hmm. UFO 50 is an experience. I don't want to ruin it for everyone, but I will say that I love the games they put in there. Some of them are short and sweet. Some of them are like, oh, this is a game. And everything about it is, it's like a labor of love kind of vibe. I must stress, it is a treat to play. It's retro. And it isn't retro feeling like Beyond Galaxy Land, which is another game that I love, the RPG. It's right. It isn't retro feeling. It's like pure retro. And it is so well done. I cannot stress it enough. If you're down to have an experience in a retro verse, UFO 50 is pretty great. And every game is like its own different experience. And that's all I'll say about that. Enjoy the game. It's very good. It's very, very good.
I'm double checking when a game came out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes is another one that I would absolutely recommend. I think pretty much every time that game has come up, I've immediately been like, oh, that game is so good. Aesthetically, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes is an incredible game. It is a hardcore puzzle game, though.
Sure.
I've said this before. It's fully like every single place you need to go, every way that you need to progress will be locked behind at least 2 puzzles. Like every time you open a door and you're like, finally, I figured out how to open this door. You've revealed 3 more doors that are all hit, like that you need to do a puzzle for. It's that sort of a game.
Yeah.
But it really, if you love puzzle games, it really tickles something. Like it's such a weird game. And I don't know how many hours of it I played before I reached the point where it was like, oh, this is what's going on in this game. Right. But it like took a while. And even then I was still like, I think I get it. Yeah, it has such a like cool style to it, and it's so puzzle heavy. I love it. I think it's such a cool game.
Does it have the same sound? So I remember the previous game, Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Right, because it's by Annapurna,
was like filled with music. And it was like a lot of great bands, a lot of musicians I love. And is that something similar here? Or is this a totally different, is this not music based, it's just puzzle?
Can I be honest with you? I can't really remember.
I would imagine it's just like
the music
cool
didn't stand
music.
Out enough in this game, I don't think, for me to remember really what the music is like in this game.
Okay.
No, the thing that stuck with me is definitely the visuals on it and how they use like color, because most of the game is black and white. I don't remember the music. I'm so sorry.
It's all right. I was just curious. I think it looks really cool. I just haven't had a chance to play it. For some reason, every time I see a puzzle game, I'm like, awesome, I want to play that. And then it's always on the back burner to anything else that won't burn my head off. Sure. I won't be like, oh, God, no. So, yeah, it's on there, though. It looks neat. Everything about it looks very cool. I've heard only good things. Love that. Hey, if we're in the indie category, let me just say, even though this needs no shout out, you should have played Animal well. Should have taken the time to play that game.
I will second that, yeah.
It's very, very good. It is a game that is more than the sum of its parts, and I cannot stress that. And again, I don't want to talk about it. This is it. Here's the problem. Most games that I love are games that you're at some point in the game is going to be like,
it's like, just experience it.
Yeah. So I will say Animal Well is one of those, and I absolutely love it. It is, I will say, difficult. There's a difficulty level there that, you're going to get your butt beat frequently. But it's good. It's not long. I think that's the thing. It's not Elden Ring levels of getting your butt beat. Like, you're going to be like, all right, this is manageable ass kicking instead of this is an 80-hour game. Like, I got to do this for how many hours? Yeah. It's a different experience. So, big fan of that. I'm trying to think what other indies. Oh, Tiny Glade was a great one. Loved that game.
You loved Tiny Glade, dude.
I love Tiny Glade. It's so simple. My brain shuts off and I build a little house, and I'm like, yeah. Neva was a lovely game. I loved that.
Neva's on my list too.
Beautiful game.
Neva's another one that is like not that long, but is just artistically fantastic.
Yep. Absolutely amazing game. I'm trying to think of the other indies that really got me. Cryptmaster, hilarious game.
Cryptmaster's also on my list. Cryptmaster was fantastic. What
wonderful.
A funny game.
Yes, well made.
So good.
If you haven't played that, I would highly recommend it. It is truly a joy to play through. Man, I'm trying to think.
I have a couple of Metroidvanias that I can throw out there.
Hit me.
Nine Souls was such an incredible game. Nine Souls I played all the way through. I did everything that I could in that game. It was such a fantastic like mix of these really like cute characters and just some horrifying sequences, lots of body horror if you're into that, and like actually very difficult fights that felt fair. You were really rewarded for exploration. I just think that game was fantastic all around. Another one that I thought was really cool art design wise was Ultros. That one came out earlier in the year.
Yes,
in like February.
yes. The game that I wished was about Ultros, but really was just about crazy colors and slimes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Ultros was also really cool. I never finished that one, but I think I got decently far into it. Yeah, that one was really interesting. But if I had to pick a Metroidvania that I think just like blew everything else out of the water for me, it would probably be Nine Souls.
Okay. Yeah. I was trying to think of games that I played that I really, really loved that were sort of outside the box. The Operator. I think that's a very fun indie game that is kind of like, yo, we're going to get
really
real weird with it. Yeah. Love that stuff. Thought that was very, very fun. I saw people in chat were like, Holocure, Jesse. I don't know if that came out this year. I'm trying to stick to things that came out this year, but I did enjoy Holocure.
Oh, that's right, Holocure.
Yeah, I did. But I don't think that came out this year. I don't know.
Did it not?
I mean, I discovered it this year, but I don't know when it released. I couldn't say. I really enjoyed Galacticare. I think that's doing like a hospital sim in space is very fun, very well made. That came out earlier this year, I believe.
Okay.
People will let me know if I'm wrong. I have to shout out Cat Quest 3. I love Cat Quest. I'll never not love Cat Quest. It'll always be good.
Cat Quest 3 is so fun too. Like really just an amalgamation of all of the good quality of life stuff that got implemented. It's so fun.
Yep. Big fan of that. Man, we played so many games this year. I'm trying to remember all the different ones. Was Harold Halibut this year?
Oh my God. I think it was. Wait.
Because I love that too.
On my list.
Like this is the problem. There's so many indie games that come out.
It came out in April. Harold Halibut was fantastic.
Yeah.
And so unique. Yeah.
There's so many indie games that by the way, speaking of indie games, oh my God, Dodger, you almost got me in trouble.
What?
I removed the game from my PC, but it was a demo that you said, Jesse, you should play this. You'll really like this demo.
Okay.
You said it's kind of like a vampire survivors like movement thing, whatever, you know? So I said, oh, okay. I can't wait to play it. Dukes, I don't know. I can't remember what it was called, but I turned on stream, start up the game, and everyone in chat said, no, Jesse, no. And I was like, what do you mean? They said, don't play this on stream. You'll get in trouble. And I was like, all right. So I didn't play it on stream. I waited for stream to end.
What game is this?
I played the game. Oh, damn it. Now I'm going to have to find it. It was like, I jokingly want to be like butt slapper, but I know that's not what it was called. I removed it from my computer, so I don't have it on here anymore. It wasn't Wedding Witch. Wedding Witch is pretty simple.
Are you sure that I was the one who told you to play this game?
You 100% were.
I would need to see it because I have no idea what game you're talking about.
Hold on. I'm going to have to, oh, son of a biscuit. I'm going to have to see if I can find it under Steam, under previously played things. It won't show up, though. I know it wasn't Glitch Spanker. It was a game that you, library, here we go. Yeah, I think because I removed it, I uninstalled the demo. Oh, what a shame. Basically what it was a game where you played as a knight, and you went around, you had to save a princess that was kidnapped by like barbarian guys, and the art is very, very cute, and very, very sweet until you win the level, and then it's full on pure ass porn. And I was like, what? And you said you should play this game. You did.
People are saying butt night?
Butt night. Is that what it? Yeah, butt night. Butt night is what it was. And you said you should play this. And that's the only reason why I downloaded it.
Homie.
The butt night demo.
Homie, I'm gonna hold on.
This was you. Look,
I've never seen this game in I've never seen this game in my life.
This was you. You told me to play the demo because you said the gameplay was really good.
You right now.
You said the gameplay was good.
No, listen. I have typed in butt night in my library and there are no hits. I've never downloaded this game before.
I don't know what to tell you.
I have 0 minutes in the game.
I don't know what to tell you because there's a demo and you said play the demo. Dude, you told me to do this.
I think maybe I told you to play a different game and you got this game.
And then I just gravitated to butt night.
Look, somebody said that I recommended it on a Geekenders. Find me a clip, dude, because I've never seen this game in my life. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, it is a game where you play as a big-butted knight and you save girls and you go through it like a shmup kind of thing and you fight guys and the gameplay's actually really good. And then at the end you beat the level and it's like, now we bang. And I was like, Dodger, what? Here's the thing. That's why I likes yous. Because you got a little butt night in you. You really out there being a little freakadeek.
Bro, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm letting you know.
I've never seen this game before.
I'm telling you, you recommended me this game. That's the only reason why I had it.
Clip, dude. Find the clip.
I don't know when that was. It was on my desktop for a while, and I only tried to play it recently, which is why it came as such a shock when I was like, whoa! And chat was like, don't play this, dude. You're going to get banned. I'm telling you, you're the one who recommended it.
I have no idea.
I do remember it, Jesse. You're not crazy. Thank you. I know I'm not crazy.
That's fine.
I'm not the crazy one.
Prove it, chat. If you all believe it and remember it so vividly, then prove it. There's no evidence, and I've never played this game before.
All right. I'm not going to fight you on this. Chad and I will just know that I'm right, and there's no reason to keep going. No reason to fight you on this. I'll just know that I'm right.
Just find it. Just find it. That's all I'm saying, chat. Don't keep saying I remember that in chat if you can't back it up with something.
So anyway, that was the whole thing, and it made me laugh very hard. But anyways, no, it's just...
Well, I'm so say that alternate universe me, that Berenstain Bears me, told you to play a hentai game on stream.
First off, yeah. Never be sorry for telling me to play a hentai game. Don't apologize for that. Who do you think you are? You did nothing wrong. If anything, you improved my life. So don't make this a sad thing. I'm just saying it wasn't appropriate for stream. But when stream ended, I played and I was like, yeah, all right, this is pretty good. This game's great. Yeah,
fantastic. I'm very glad.
So don't you worry. This isn't a Dodger, how dare you thing. This is a Dodger. Thank you for educating me. Yeah.
I was going to say, going back to games we recommend, Tactical Breach Wizards was fantastic.
Sure.
That game, so fun. I don't care if you hate tactics games. I never play tactics games, but the writing in this one is so fun. The concept is like an XCOM game, except all of the characters are different types of wizards.
Yes.
But they're still dressed in like tactical gear. It's so funny. And it's such and there are lots of like really heartfelt moments in it. Like it's one of those games where as the writing builds, you're like, wait, oh no, I care a lot about the wizards. It's so good. It's such a fantastic game.
Hey, simpler times. Very simple game, very easy to play. You just pack stuff and listen to music. Again, pure Jesse Cox greatness. I love a good shut my brain off and listen to like chill beats and do a thing while a video renders. So big fan of that. Love that stuff. Let me ask you, was Banishers this year?
Was Banishers this year?
I don't remember.
I think that was last year.
Was it last year? Was it last October?
Banishers. No, it was this year. Oh my God.
Look at that. Look at us. There's, again, this year had so many great games. There's just so many games that came out. And this is, again, not including games that you would just automatically be like, oh, these are good games. Like Elden Ring DLC, Helldivers 2, the updates they did for Baldur's Gate 3 and Cyberpunk, Space Marine 2, Metaphor, Indiana Jones, which I'm still playing and I love Indiana Jones. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Marvel Rivals. We got a new Diablo DLC. We got, dear God, an Alan Wake DLC. We got just so much came out this year.
Dude.
Oh yeah, we got Wukong came out this year.
Wukong, yeah.
Just like a ton of stuff.
Path of Exile 2.
Which, by the way, I have to stop playing. I get so mad at it. I'm gonna wait until the full release. I'm so mad at it because like it's tough.
Yeah.
It's
too tough.
I've discovered that I lack the motor function to do some of the like combos it wants me to do. It's asking for button presses and things where I'm like, I don't operate that fast. My brain is not that. I can't, like, there's some things that click with me. I'm like, okay, if I cast Curse and I curse these skeletons and then I raise the dead, the undead that I've raised now have the curse. And whenever they attack, they curse other things and it snowballs and things die really quickly. It looks awesome.
Right.
But to pull off said curse combo, I have to press 3 buttons in the exact same order and be like, okay, so I got it. Oh, no, I missed. Okay. Hold on. No, that guy died too quick. Like, it's just.
Yeah.
I really need like a 1-button combo thing. Like, I need to go in there and be able to be like, I press 1 button and it casts all 3 spells in a row. I would be so happy. I would just be the happiest boy on earth. That's all I want. Now, if that's in the game and I just don't know about that, shit, I'll jump back in immediately. But some bosses are just like, bitch. Like, I just get wrecked.
Yeah, can you set up like macros in that game?
I don't know. I don't know if you can set up macros. If you could, that'd be great. I guess you could go into your, like, if you have a Razer or whatever mouse where you have that program and you can click, you could like combine things into one. But that already is too much for me. I'm like, if I do that, suddenly I'm going to be playing other games and I'm going to press a button and it's going to be like, no, that's rebound to those 3 buttons, dude. You screwed up. And I'll be like, oh, I'll forget that I rebound things.
Yeah.
No, I'm all right. But PoE 2 is great. It's very fun. I'm just not, like, I decided to play as a monk the other day and just was like, do I suck? Or does this class suck? I was like, no, it can't be the class. It has to be me. And I was like, fine, I'll just go back to wielding a shotgun. Which is great. It's great. Shout out to WASD plus shotgun. It's great. Tons of fun.
Dude, I think Marvel Rivals is so fun. I finally started playing it. It's so fun. Like, people really love to be like, ugh, it looks exactly like Overwatch. They didn't innovate at all. Bro, it's fun. And if somebody is looking to feel the way that they did playing original Overwatch, they get that with Marvel Rivals.
Absolutely.
I think they made all the right calls about what to copy.
Yeah. They literally took Overwatch and said, why did they make so many stupid changes? Let's just make it what it was. And then they just Marvel skinned it. And to be honest, it's great. And more importantly, as I've said before, and I will continue to say, Marvel Rivals falls squarely right in the middle of the perfect Venn diagram of the Jesse Cox, will this game succeed or not algorithm based on how many people want to have sex with the characters. And here's the thing. Y'all horny for Marvel Rivals. And that's how I know it's going to be a smash hit.
Bro,
because it isn't just one character or two characters.
Dude.
It's every character. You're like, damn.
The number of people that I know that are like, bro, am I about to go through a Loki phase again in 2025? I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I'm going to live through that.
Yep.
It's great.
Yeah. The fact that, and again, this goes back to original Overwatch. Before Overwatch even released, the amount of like dirty stuff popping up online was crazy. And right now, if you see what's happening over on Twitter, they're like, dude, we're trying to crack the code so we can get all the models out. I'm like, y'all nasty, but you talented.
God bless.
You have skill. I'll admit it. You're perverts, but you got skill.
Yeah, I saw a couple pieces of fan art and I was like, oh, interesting. Maybe I'll just look at the tag in general and see what people are making fan art of. It's all Squirrel Girl. It's all Squirrel Girl in a variety of situations. It's a lot of Squirrel Girl, dude.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Did I tell you about when I was at the Game Awards thing and there was a bunch of people talking about Marvel Rivals? And there were two guys in line with me, and one guy just kept being like, dude, playing Marvel Rivals is awesome. And his friend was like, oh, yeah, who are you playing? And he's like, oh, I love Squirrel Girl. She's so hot, dude. And the guy was like, oh, so you a furry? And he was like, no, man, it's just Squirrel Girl. And he's like, she got a tail, though. And he's like, yeah, what? That's not, it was just like a guy really being like, I'm pretty sure you're a furry. And he's like, no, I just like Squirrel Girl. And he's like, she got a tail, though. And that made me laugh so hard. I was like, I mean, he's not wrong. She does have a tail. That woman is a squirrel.
Meanwhile, the people that are really into Venom being like, yo, Venom's caked up. If you were like, what, you into monsters? They'd be like, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. Yes.
The amount of shame is so different.
Mm-hmm. That same, I've been seeing a lot of Magic and Storm and whoever the hell that ice girl is that I've never heard of in my entire life. People are starting to cosplay her.
I've also never heard of her, and I was like,
no clue who that is.
This? I mean, I like that they're trying to do some deep cuts.
Yes. Yeah. But also, I think a lot of people didn't know who Jeff was before this game, and suddenly they're like, oh, I'm a huge Jeff stan.
Well, look, the seasonal event is just Jeffs. You're all Jeffs. Everyone's a Jeff.
Oh, Luna Snow is an OC from the game. All right, well, if that's true.
Luna Snow is the dev's OC. Fantastic.
Oh, introduced in another game recently. All right, well. Okay,
sure.
She's from the Marvel mobile game. Well, that's fine.
Okay, sure.
Doesn't affect me at all. Yeah, all right. But I love that. Yeah, there's again. They're doing this. There's someone for everyone, which is what we did for Monster Prom, and it's what I will continue to do as a dev always, and be like, let's make someone that everyone can be in love with. And that's pretty much what they've done. Yeah. And so, although now there are mods, oh God, there's so many mods. And it's not just like nude mods, Doogs. We're talking like imagine any fetish you can think of. Sure. There are mods for it now. And I'm like, y'all went too hard. Y'all went too hard.
Too hard, too fast. Ran out of room immediately.
Yeah, it got a little too crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Incredible.
Yeah, I was very impressed with what they've done with that. I'm curious like where that goes game-wise. Because there's a part of it that, you know, it could end up, I'm worried it could end up like what Overwatch did, where eventually it becomes about monetization rather than like we had a good game. And like original Overwatch was pretty straightforward. You paid for Overwatch, you played the game, and they're like, oh, we can make more money if we add extra stuff to it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they do. I don't know.
Sorry, I bonked us.
You bonked us?
I did. I fixed it though, but we were bonked for a second there.
It happens. I get bonked frequently. I get it.
But I fixed it. Yes.
What would you say was your biggest like letdown of the year? Do you have one? Because I definitely have one, and it sticks with me to this day, and I will gladly say it.
I would have to think about that. I still have quite a few that are like, I loved this game, but a letdown.
Well, yeah. I mean, there are plenty of games that I like. We didn't even mention Thank Goodness You're Here. That's an amazing game. That's very fun. Even though the rest of the world hated it, I actually really liked Dragon Age. I thought that was fun.
I don't think the rest of the world hated it. I think you're in good company with people that liked it.
There's like 4 of us, and there's dozens of us.
There's dozens of us. Mouthwashing was like such a surprise for me. Oh my gosh.
It's on the list. It's on that computer back there for when Scary Game Squad gets here. We'll play it eventually. Yeah.
That game really threw me for a loop. I still think about that game. I thought it was so good. Prince of Persia Lost Crown was fantastic, and I'll always be salty that they shut down. But I don't know. Something that really disappointed me.
The game that got me, I'll tell you, because this one it drives me crazy.
Yeah. Tell me.
Pacific Drive is my biggest disappointment of the year. Conceptually, trailer-wise, everything about that game, even the first hour, I was like, yo, this is what I'm here for. I love your driving. It's weird. It's going to be creepy. There's things in the distance. What's going on? Loved that. But the game itself was car repair the game. Search for materials, repair your car, find crafting things. And I do not like those games. I do not like any of the games where it's like, well, it's one thing, but also you're spending most of your time finding parts to repair and do stuff. It's not my brand. I see people in chat being like, I love it. It's so good. I do not like that stuff. That's the reason why I'm not playing like, when they had like Rust or all those games, Ark, where it's like, yeah, I do want to ride dinosaurs. That sounds cool. I also don't want to hit trees and build a fort. Like, that's not fun for me. That's not exciting.
That's hard, isn't it? It's like when Cult of the Lamb came out, people that wanted a colony sim game played it, but so did people who wanted a dungeon crawler Isaac-ish game, right? And some people love both of those genres, like me, and were like, this is great. I love that I can do both in one game. But there were plenty of people that were like, I don't want to go fight. And I don't want to have to fight bosses and shit in order to build the colony. I just want to build the colony. I just want to run a cult, you know? And I think sometimes when there's sort of a crossover of two genres, people, you know, will be disappointed in one way or another if it turns out that one of those genres plays a more important role than you were expecting or than you were hoping, right?
Absolutely. And here's the thing. I love Call to the Lamb, but I very much know that if I had not done my first playthrough on stream using viewers as cultists, I don't know that I would have continued, because when you there's a point in Call to the Lamb where every time you leave to go do your questing stuff, when you come back, your cultists have just shit everywhere. And they're too stupid to clean it up. So you're like, brother, what? So now you have to clean it. Half of your cultists are sick. They're all like, oh, there's poo everywhere. Or people, like there's a loop early on before you start getting bathrooms and whatever, before you get the things to upgrade. There's about a good hour of gameplay where you're just like, anytime you leave, your cultists are destroying your cult. And you're like, well, this sucks. I hate this. And if it wasn't for the fact that I was on stream playing with people and laughing at the fact that, like, you know, Doomy22 was the one who took a dump in the woods, and I'm like, hey, you suck, I think I'd be pissed at that part. But I played through it and I loved it. I mean, that's the same thing. That's the same thing when it comes to Pacific Drive, where, like, I played it. I don't remember if I played it on stream or not. I might have, but like, it starts out so well and it's spooky and scary. And then it's like, okay, repair your car, put the doors on a car, do this. And I was like, all right, cool. And I did that stuff. And in my mind, I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to have to, you know, keep the car repaired to drive through this thing. But really, you stop, you have to run around, collect items, dodge floating weird things. And it's like, okay, this isn't a drive where shit goes bad. This is a Like, I'm getting out, I'm taking a walk, we're doing some things, I got to get back to my car. It wasn't what was advertised in the trailers. And I think that's what got me. The trailer for Call to the Lamb was like you're a cult manager and you're doing like a dodge roll fight. Like, that was there.
Right.
It was in the trailer. And for Pacific Drive, that wasn't what I got out of what I thought the trailer was going to be or what the game was going to be. And so I was like, oh, okay. All right. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that was my biggest letdown because I wanted to love it. Like, conceptually, the idea of like, we're going for a weird drive through the Pacific Northwest and it's crazy weird. I would love that. But it's straight up like a roguelike. It has like roguelike vibes to it. And it's just not it's not my thing. I don't know. Just never really did it for me. Now, if you're saying it can change all that, chat, and make it different, I might give it a try. But like, there's so many other games. If you don't get me, I'm moving on.
Right. This wasn't this year, but a game that wound up being kind of like that for me, and I keep thinking to myself that I really should go back and try it again, is Dredge. Dredge, everybody keeps being like, there is so much cool stuff to this game. Like, it's so creepy and like atmospheric and all of this stuff. And I just didn't enjoy the dredging loop. I didn't enjoy that. And I keep thinking I should go back and try it again. But I didn't like it. I didn't like playing it. And I feel like I missed out on a lot because I didn't enjoy playing it.
Sure.
You know?
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes that's just how it be, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, there was another game, this is a few years back, there's another game that you recommended that you were like, you'll love this, it's by a dev team you love, and I was like, great, and I played it for maybe an hour and was like, nah, I don't like this one. And yeah, it just happens. It doesn't mean like, oh, that's a terrible game, it's just not for you. I get it.
Yeah.
So anyone's like, but I love that game. Cool. I'm not telling you not to love it. I'm just saying that it didn't, scratch my itch. I know what I want in a game, and I want it to be one way. And if it's not, I'm going to be like, well, I'll just play something else. I'm not too upset.
It goes both ways, right? Like there are games that we have said, oh my gosh, these are some of the games of the year for us. And there's always at least somebody in chat who's like, oh, I really didn't enjoy that game actually for XYZ reason. There's such a huge gradient of like what people are looking for in a game and what's going to like hit just right,
Right.
And you can't hit for everybody. It's impossible.
Yeah. And that's fine. I mean, that's why, there's all sorts of different weird games out there that you can play. Like, we didn't even mention, I think that Skuld is a great game that I think is very niche. It is pure, like, old school RPG D&D style. Lots of reading. Like, it's not for everyone, but I enjoyed it tremendously. I thought it was a lovely game.
Yeah.
It's just, it is what it is.
Let me see. Yeah. Banishers and Harold Halibut. I'm so glad you brought both of those up. I loved both of those games. Locomotive was an end of the year like hit for me. I absolutely recommend that game if you like 2D side scrolling like mystery games. Takes place on a train. All the classics, all the classic elements, switches POVs. It's so good.
Oh my goodness. What else was there?
Oh, when did Sheepy come out? I just played that recently, but I don't know if that came out this year. It was this year. It was February. Okay, there's a game. It is so short. It's, I think, supposed to be more of like a proof of concept or like a showcase of style. But there's a game called Sheepy, a short adventure that came out February this year. And I just played it like a few weeks ago. It's so good. The music and the sound design is insane in it. The style of it is so good. It's extremely short. But by the end of it, you're like, holy shit, I want this person to make another, like a big game. I want like a big game that's like this. Which is why I'm hoping that they made this to be like, let's see what people think of, my vibe. But yeah, it was great.
Interesting. I'm gonna install on Steam. I'm down to play. That's really cool. Huh. Sheepy. Yeah. Never heard of that before in my life.
Sheepy, a short adventure. It's free. Go play it. It's fantastic.
You know what? I love a good free game. I'm no fool.
Same.
Sheepy.
Same.
Nice. Downloading right now. Install.
Cool, oh my gosh. Why are so many? Cool. Crypt Custodian came out this year too. Loved that game. I played all of that.
Yep.
That's the one about a cat that dies and gets put into purgatory, basically.
Yeah.
Also,
I realized this year I didn't play any of the games that were water-based, even though I downloaded them. I have Thalassa, Edge of the Abyss on my desktop, and I have Still Wakes the Deep on my desktop. Haven't touched those once. The threat of playing them was there, but I've never played them. And you know what? That sounds right. The water games... Oh, well.
Still Wakes the Deep. Oh, my God. It was so good. It would scare the shit out of you, I think.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I would play that with Scary Game Squad. The biggest problem is, this is like the main problem with a lot of Scary Game Squad stuff these days, is we'll see a game, we're like, yo, that looks really good. We'll look at it, and we'll say the game is 16 hours long. And we're like, brah, we meet once every Friday for maybe 5 hours total. That would take weeks to complete.
Right. Still Wakes the Deep. Playing by myself took me 7 hours, it says. Not too bad. But... Yeah. But oh, God, what a good game. Fantastic game.
Yeah, I hear that. And Mouthwash is a whole thing.
Mouthwash is also much shorter.
I'd love to play that, but it's on. Look, it's there. It's definitely there.
Also for everybody who loves a power wash sim, Crime Scene Cleaner was a fucked up little weird cleaning game where you get sort of blackmailed, I guess, into working for the mob and cleaning up their crimes. It was fun. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's a lot of games that I played that I liked, but I didn't get a chance to play them a bunch. Like, man, Frostpunk 2 I played, but I didn't get to play a bunch, so I don't have a full, like, here's my thoughts on it. There was a game called The King is Watching that I played a little bit of, but I didn't get to play a bunch. Paladins, I know that you and I played a little bit, but we didn't beat it.
Dude, I'd love to try Paladins again.
Yeah, I would too. That was a lot of fun. I think we were going to try and get Octo to join us.
Yeah, we were talking about doing us, Octo, and Crendor? Maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Obviously, Void Crew is a game that I think is super fun, but I haven't had a chance to play a bunch of it. And Empire of Ants is the other one. Conceptually, visually, awesome. I haven't had a chance to play much of it, but I love the idea of an ant-based RTS. Very cute. Sadly, my entire life over the last 2 months got taken over by every single Square Enix RPG that released all within the span of 1 month, which was crazy. Visions of Mana, Romancing Saga 2, Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake, Metaphor, Dragon Age, they all came out in 1 month of each other, and then immediately Indiana Jones came out. And I'm gonna let you know, all those other games I love. However, I love Indiana Jones more. I am thoroughly enjoying it. It is so good in every single way, and I love it. It is the best Indiana Jones movie I've seen in years. I'm enjoying it. There's so many good... Whoever the director of the game is, their knowledge of Indiana Jones shots and goofs and camera angles is lovely.
Top tier.
Oh, it's so well done. There's so many goofs that they absolutely nail. Like, this isn't a spoiler goof. It's the one I use all the time just to explain like how indie it is. But you're in the Vatican, and Indy dresses up as a priest. And in order to hide, he hides in one of those, like confessional booths. And this Italian man gets in the booth and he starts talking to him, and he's like, "Father, I'm in so much trouble." And all we see is Indy's face reacting to it. And he's like, my mother-in-law, she's so attractive. I've started having an affair with my mother-in-law. And then he's like, I got my mother-in-law pregnant, and my wife is pregnant too. And he's like, holy crap. Well, I guess like 3 Hail Marys or, it's really well done. And it's just like a little scene added because it's an Indiana Jones scene where it's like, well, of course, this is the one thing that would happen to Indiana Jones. It's very well done. There are a lot of good goofs. It is truly just a very fun game. Plus,
it is, yeah.
Have you played any of it?
I haven't. I was just about to say that it's just such a skill to be able to like analyze a type of media in a way where you can like reconstruct the same vibe, especially in a different media type, like a video game, right? Mm-hmm. So that's amazing.
Yeah, what's brilliant about it is most of the game is, solving riddles, doing Indiana Jones tomb exploring, finding treasure, completing quests, and that kind of thing. But when you do the story bits, it is full on. There's one scene where, spoiler, Nazis are involved. There's one scene with the 2 Nazi bad guys and Indy, and it's like a full on. I would say that scene, you don't touch a controller for like 7 minutes, and it's just slapstick Indiana Jones comedy of like you're watching an Indiana Jones movie. And because it so nails what Indiana Jones is, I didn't care that it was just a cutscene of like Indy being it. Like I didn't fight anyone, I didn't do anything. It just did it, and I was like, yeah, that was pretty great. That was it.
Cute.
And I'll say, Troy, absolutely nails the voice. Yeah. It is crazy how good Indy sounds sometimes.
Nice.
Yeah, he really nails the Harrison Ford mumble. He's like, oh, geez, and you're like, I see what you're doing. Because that's how Harrison Ford talks. Oh, it was great. I must stress.
How many hours do you have in that game so far?
That's a solid question. I will look right now. Most of it, to be honest, is because I have a total of 23 hours in it.
Okay.
Most of it's because I'm doing everything. So you can complete the story bits and do all the stuff, but there's secret missions you can discover. There's different things, but then there's also just straight up like, find these relics. And I'm like, I'm doing that. And the problem is that a lot of them you can't get until you proceed further into the story, because you can return to locations, but you can't like get to certain places without a certain item. And so you have to like backtrack and do. I would assume most normal people would not do that. But I'm like, I gotta go back and look. Literally the last time, yesterday when I was playing on stream, the entire stream was, I'm going to go back and find the things that I could not get before.
Bless you.
There was so much dust in the air when I was going through those tubes. It was crazy.
Of course, yes.
And
it's like you're there.
Yeah, and so I ended up going back through, and then what ended up happening is, in the area I'm currently in, I found a chest, and the chest, the mystery was, there's keys hidden throughout the world, and I was like, oh my god. So then you have to go back to previous areas and get the keys that are hidden there. So that's a whole other time sink. Most people, I assume, will not do that. Like, there's I guess 2 types of currencies. There's the currency of money, which you can find and then use to buy things, and those will give you hints or give you upgrades. But then if you buy an upgrade, you then have to unlock the upgrade, and that's your like research points or whatever the hell when you like find cool things or take a photo and it's like a good photo, you get points. And then you use those points to unlock stuff. So the more points you have, the more badass your indie can be. But you don't need to do any of that. You can like go through the story, do your thing, and have a good time. The brilliant part about it, I think, is that there's little tiny moments where the NPCs do things that are comically funny. Like Indiana Jones level comically funny, where you will literally yesterday I went to go swing down a rope and swing down, and I accidentally like knocked a guy off a guard tower. And it looked amazing, but it alerted every single Nazi in the area. And they were like, oh! So they're chasing me into the woods, shooting at me. And I'm just like, oh. And I didn't mean to do that, but it was like a really funny goof. And I was like, all right,
Amazing.
That's cute. Yeah. I must stress, it's a shame it came out in December because it would be in the running for Game of the Year for me, for sure. I will, sadly for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, I will 100% forget by next November. When next November rolls around, it's award season, I'll be like, I guess I came out at the end of, like, I don't think it's in a weird limbo spot. Yeah. The good news is I think that Lucas and Machine Games are talking about doing more, so
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be doing good then, like sales wise.
I don't know, but I love it. I cannot stress how much I enjoy it. It's very fun.
I feel like I have to mention that I started playing Warframe this year, even though that game came out a million years ago. I started playing Warframe this year and have spent a lot of time with Warframe, and that's been very fun. I started playing League of Legends this year. A mistake. So yeah, there are some things that I've spent time on playing this year that did not come out this year, but I still feel like I should mention them.
I'm obsessed with the League of Legends kind of. I don't know what the right word is. It's whatever Arcane achieved, right? Because Fallout, when it released this year, was a great gateway to Fallout games. It was a thing where everyone who, like, even in the first episode literally had character creation. Everything in it was this fun little, Fallout-y vibe. And everyone who watched it had this thing of like, man, I want to play Fallout. And so after that released, everyone was like, what Fallout should I play? And everyone's like, oh, play this one or this one or this one, whatever, right? League for Arcane, I know so many people who was like, oh my God, I want to play League. Arcane's amazing. And I think I read a stat that I think sums it up perfectly, where I'm not sure if I can find that. I don't want to give you a fake number.
Is it? But it's the one about how many people downloaded the game and then never played it again after that first day.
Yes. Yeah. That's the stat.
I've seen the same stat.
And it is dramatic. Yes. It's a dramatic stat. And it's one of those things where
huge.
It's like everyone got excited about Arcane, but League of Legends couldn't deliver on the promise of what Arcane said it was. Arcane said this is a world of characters and lore and magic and this and this and this. And then you play League and it's none of that.
I think that's what we talked about this a little bit after the Game Awards, didn't we? Because we were talking about because Fallout won the Best Adaptation Award.
Right.
And we were discussing like, well, Arcane was amazing for the whole animation industry, right? But as an adaptation, Fallout was so much more successful because of exactly what you're talking about, right? Like you watch Fallout, you go to play Fallout and you're like, I'm playing the show, right? But you watch Arcane and go to play League and they are so like, there's no harmony between the two at all, right? Like the same characters are there and that's basically it.
Yeah. I think that's one of the biggest things that I guess Riot's working on an MMO. I don't know that that's going to be a League-based MMO, but I'm very curious about, because I guess I don't know what's going on over there. It does seem insane that they create such a I love Arcane. I love those 2 seasons. I think it's incredible. I will never touch, I played League once. That's all they're getting out of me. I'm 1-0 and I will never go back because I cannot lose. It's just the thing. But I'm fascinated because there's no connective tissue. You're right. It's a property that stands on its own that creates some lore. But the lore is unimportant to the thing that's the game. There's no one playing the game who's like, that really, I'm really excited about the new lore prospect. That's a lie. There are definitely some people. But you know what I mean? Like the majority of players don't care about the lore. They're Crendor. They're I like my guy. He blows people up.
Right. I hate Echo. I always ban him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do think something that they could be doing is pushing more to the other games that exist within the League universe, because I think they do a much better job of telling stories.
Sure.
In the universe, the Yordle game and the Drowned King and the Runeterra game or whatever. Like,
I have
there's
all
so many
of those games on my computer at home, And they're like the RPG, Ruined King's fun. Like, they've got good story-based games, but then they close that entire part of the business down. They're making no more of those games. And so I think that's, I don't know, it's sad because the desire for story-based games in that universe is clearly there. People loved Arcane. And so I'm curious if they would make more, but they shut down that entire branch. So I don't know. And, Valorant isn't that. Valorant isn't League lore. And I don't know what the MMO is going to be, so I have no clue. But Arcane was incredible. However, Fallout, very much like Edgerunners, was clearly this is going to tell you what the universe was like. Please play our game. Yep. And that's why after Edgerunners came out, Cyberpunk blew up again. And they perfectly timed Edgerunners with the new patch that changed the way Cyberpunk played. And then people instantly fell in love. And now I see Cyberpunk stuff all the time. For a game that everyone was like, this game sucks, I hate it. Suddenly everyone's like, this might be one of the best games ever made.
It popped back for sure.
Yeah. It's weird. I really want more. It's strange to say I want more things from Riot that aren't League.
That aren't
like,
League.
Guys,
yeah.
I don't want to play League. I'll play it. Like, you've clearly got some talent. I'd love to know what goes on. But with that said, I saw a series of tweets that all the writing team for Arcane, when they announced they were doing a Warhammer 40K show, they all were like, yo, can I write on that? Which to me says, oh, they don't have much loyalty for Riot at all, really. They're like, we'll jump ship right now if you let us write 40K. So, I don't know. But I'm here for that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, now hold on. Because I'll watch the shit out of that.
I've been doing a lot of reaction watching of the secret level 40K episode.
Okay.
It's fascinating to watch people who don't understand what a 40K thing is watching that secret level episode, because they're like, what's this? How's that work? It's great to watch.
Oh, like, what if thing?
No, have you never seen, have you not watched Secret Level?
No.
Dodger. Secret Level's a show. I believe it's on Amazon or Netflix. It's one of the two. I can't remember. And it is a series of episodes that are.
Wait. You talked about this last time. I
did.
And I just forgot what it was called. Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
I think I combined in my mind, that with the What If show.
No. Secret Level is a series of animations, kind of like Love, Death, and Robots. And it is 15.
Animatrix.
Yeah. It's like 15 little shorts. And many of them are okay. Some of them are phenomenal. Again, my favorite one, the Pac-Man episode, is very interesting because the Pac-Man episode made no sense until I saw the Game Awards, and then the trailer for the new Pac-Man game came out. I was like, oh, I see. But the ones that stick with me, New World, I love that one. The New World episode is so silly and fun, and it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, so like, that's fun.
I saw clips from the Sifu episode.
Sifu episode's very cool. But the 40K one, I think, is the best hands down episode. It is so well done. It is cool as shit. Basically, I believe, at first I thought it took place before, but now I know it takes place after, oh my God, my brain just died. The Space Marine 2.
Okay.
And it is like just Titus being the biggest badass who ever lived, and it's so cool, and I cannot stress. It isn't like, most 40K stuff is, let's go fight orcs, or let's go fight Tyranids, or let's go. This is straight up like, we're jumping into chaos immediately. And if you want to get real weird and see how real weird 40K's universe is, Dukes, find it online, I think it's like maybe 10 minutes long. It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And watching people react to it. Watching people react to it is like feeding me right now, because there are many people who get it and they're like, yo, is that Titus? Is that my boy Titus? And then there's some people like, I don't know what this is. And by the end, they're like, holy shit, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Is it
I'm loving
on
it.
Watch Party? Is that how people are reacting to it? Or
no, they're just like YouTube reaction.
videos?
Like they're just doing YouTube reaction videos. Yeah. The only weird one is Concord, in that they have a full animation for a thing that doesn't exist anymore. What's weird is I kind of like the Concord episode, and I realized, much like when I was complaining about Concord before, it's like, conceptually, if this was just a story-based game that wasn't trying to be a shooter with characters we love, it would have been a fine property. They just made the weirdest choice in the history of choices, and it's very obvious, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, Concord screwed up the Jesse Cox principle of video game success.
Oh, no.
I didn't know anyone who was like, I want to bang those characters. I didn't.
Sure.
I didn't see one single person be like, all those characters, I'd bang them. Didn't happen. Not a one.
I don't know what they look like, so I can't say yes or no.
Imagine vague amalgamations of people. Like there was nothing that stood out about them. You know what I mean? They just looked like people, which is fine. Like people, I'm a people. I like people, but they just looked like people. There was nothing unique or cool about them. The world was neat. The world they set up, the world building they did for the game, very cool. I love the idea of the space world they created. But like the characters were like, I'm pilot. I'm gun person. I'm like big buff lady in weird looking armor. Like there's nothing about them that said, yo, I gotta be that character. It didn't feel like if you look at Marvel Rivals, people are like, oh, I want to be this character because I like the way they look. I like their abilities. Like that kind of thing. That wasn't the case for this.
It's weird because it's so hard to explain what it is. Cause I feel like the characters have the beginning of something really interesting.
Right.
And I don't
bland.
What is it? Because it's very like, so anime and manga does this all the time, where you can pick out who a main character is going to be based on like how crazy their hair is.
In the background, everyone has brown hair and is wearing like the same outfit. Yeah.
Right. But like, there's such a huge difference, and I don't know enough about it to understand what the like it factor is. There's a huge difference between I'm just going to throw a bunch of shit on this person and this is a really cool character design.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like the difference there, you immediately know it looking at the character, but it's hard to pick out like, why doesn't this character work? Like, what is it about this character that's just like not hitting for me? Yeah, because looking at all of these characters, I'm like, I don't understand why I wouldn't be interested in this game, but there is something bland about all of them, despite that, like, they're all aliens and like, like I don't know. It's interesting. It's an interesting topic.
I've seen people in chat say it's corporatized, sanitized. I don't even know if that's it. There's just something about the design of the characters that, if you're exactly right, Dodger, these are the characters that would be in the background of a scene that played while the characters that looked visually cool would be walking in front of them. Like, none of these characters scream, I'm the main character. They all scream, I exist in this world, but also I've got a 9 to 5. Like, there's nothing cool about them. And again, I know it's reductive and silly and stupid, but I promise you, the Jesse Cox rule of will a game be successful works every time. It isn't about the hotness of a character. It's about you being attracted to them on some level. And if you can, I want to play as that character because I want to be around that character. Like, that's how you get loyalty to a game. And be like, there's just, I don't know. It's bizarre to me. Because again, the video for Secret Level, the trailer that I saw, the original trailer, I was like, yo, this is cool. Kind of a Guardians of the Galaxy vibe. But then they were like, the game is not that at all. It's honestly kind of the way I felt about Overwatch originally. Like, obviously the characters got me. Like, Widowmaker butt, I couldn't fight that. I was like, all right, I'll allow it. But when Overwatch first came out and they had all these movies and trailers and world building, but then the game was kind of like pew, pew, pew. Eventually it wore off. Like my enjoyment of Overwatch declined over time because they kept hyping it up as a story thing, but they never delivered on that. Not once to this day have they delivered on that. And, it became successful because people were like, yeah, I like these things. But the promise of what the game was is very similar to what Concord was doing, which is there's like a story in a world and it's going to be, I don't think so. I think we got to stop that. It's the same thing when I see indie trailers where your trailer's in animation. I love animation as much as the next person. But I want to see your game. And your animation's it's cool, but that's not what your game is. There's so many great animated trailers, then you see the game and it's like, yes, that's the game?
Yeah. If your trailer is like your intro cinematic or intro animation, and it turns out that your game looks totally different from that, there's a disjointed sort of reaction.
And there's so few times you can nail it. Obviously, Cult of the Lamb nailed the animation plus the gameplay because the animation looks similar to the gameplay assets. And it nailed the vibe of what it is. But a lot of the times, you and I will look at trailers and be like, what the hell was... what is that game? Like, the animation was cool, but that told me nothing about what the game was.
Yeah. Someone said the Concord episode is the perfect introduction to the world, but the game is the opposite. Exactly like Arcane and League. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's weird to me, but at the same time, I understand why you would want to invest in creating, because having lore, having a background, having a story, having a buy-in is very important for games.
Yeah.
Like, if you want people to play your stuff long-term and get attached to it, buy your merch, buy your thing, whatever, you need to have them not just love the game, but in some way want to spend time in that world and be a part of that. And Arcane nailed that. There's so many people that love the characters from Arcane and want more of that.
Yeah.
And that's just not what League is. Like, and that's absolutely right. All those people went to go play League because they wanted more. And when they got there, that's not what they got. Instead, they're out. I understand completely.
Yep. Are there any other games that you want to make sure you mention before we have to wrap up for today?
There are plenty of games. I don't, for the life of me, remember half of them. But I definitely wrote down 2 news things I thought would be fun to talk about because I'm super excited about them. The first, not excited actually, kind of disappointed, but here we are. Apparently, they pitched Dead Space 4 to EA and EA rejected it.
Why?
I guess that's the thing we'll never know. But Schofield said that EA turned down Dead Space 4 proposal. I guess he approached EA this year about making a new entry in the series after the success of Dead Space's remake, and they were like, nah. And if you're wondering why, it's because I fundamentally believe EA is pure business bros. They were like, well, that's a chance. Like, the last game came out how many years ago? And it's a horror game title, and you're going to want a couple, like, $100 million to make it. So we're just not going to give you, like, it's very clearly, it's about, like, the last one, they micromanaged.
Oh, that bums me out, dude.
Yeah. So that sucks. But you and I played Dead Space 3, and you saw the, like, stuff EA put in there where it's like, buy better guns. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
What, dude? Weird vibe.
Yes.
Weird vibe.
True.
But also, in a victory for all of us, take the time, friendly viewer and Dodger. Have you seen the trailer for the Exit 8 movie?
No. No.
Yeah.
Is it a real trailer?
It is a real trailer for a real thing, and it is straight up like they got a dude to be like the one lone guy who walks past you and does the like. They got a guy. Go look.
Is it like a short psychological horror game, I guess? Or,
I don't know. It's a teaser.
Movie, I mean?
I don't know. It's a teaser for it. It's all in Japanese. I feel like it's a Japanese movie that's going to come out eventually. Give it a watch.
Weird.
Yes, it's very cool. I was like, we're doing this? Big fan of that. So
interesting.
Yeah, Exit 8. If you have never played Exit 8, go find it. Or Platform 8, both very good. Not necessarily scary. Every once in a while there'll be a scare, but most of the time it's just creepy and weird. And
they're a little, if you played Observation Duty, they're a little similar. It's very like spot what's weird. Something's changing. Something about the world that you're in, the repeating world you're in is shifting. Can you figure out what it is? Kind of a thing.
And sometimes it's incredible. And like sometimes it's the wall is a little bit different. And so it's like, okay. And you lose your mind. And then somehow against all odds, not just Sonic 3 outpacing Mufasa the Lion King, which good because I don't know who's watching Mufasa the Lion King. But more importantly, Sonic is on track to have an incredible, like maybe be one of the most successful video game movies of all time. Sonic 3, who would have thought?
Hell yeah, brother. We just needed Shadow in the mix, dude. We just needed one of these hedgehogs to have a gun, and now we're
two
in.
Jim Carreys. I'm not sure which. We got Shadow and 2 Jim Carreys, and honestly, I'm here for it.
It's really hard to figure out which variable really like tipped us over the edge, you know?
I like to believe the variable of Jim Carrey saying when they asked, "I thought you retired. Why are you back?" and he said, "I needed the money." I feel like that's that's a solid answer, and honestly, I'm here for it. Yeah, and Keanu was in it. Oh, speaking of which, Keanu is in the Armored Core episode of Secret Level.
Oh, look at that.
Yep.
Full circle.
So, it's a whole thing. But, and anyone who saw the movie post-credit scene was like, all right, y'all, have you ever been in a movie theater? And when you sat down, you realized, like, you weren't necessarily the number one fan base for a thing, but the people around you were. And, like, Sonic fans, I love you. You're so sweet. You're just, like, there's so much pure joy in your life. And I'll never have that. Because when that post-credit scene rolled, everyone in the crowd was like, ah! And I was like, okay.
Oh, my gosh.
People lost their mind. They're, like, jumping around. I was like, all right. So Sonic fans, I love you. Keep being you.
I love it so much.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. What a great year.
Yeah.
What a great year, buddy.
Look at us.
Thank you for, I guess, about a year ago, asking if I wanted to do a show with you again.
Yeah, and it's been fun. I've been enjoying it.
It's been really fun.
Tremendously. It is a true joy to... Look, everyone at home, I want to let you in on a secret. This might be the realest thing you're ever going to hear me say ever. This entire podcast is literally just an excuse to hang out with my friend for a couple hours every week. There's really, if you thought this was supposed to be like some informative show or like give you the hot takes, and no, this is Jesse and Dodger. We have 2 hours every Friday where we get to just be like, so what'd you do? That's it.
Dish.
That's the real secret here. I'm gonna let you know. This isn't like us setting out to create the best podcast in the world. This is us being like, yo, you want to like just talk every Friday? Cool. All right. That's it.
Yeah. And like, you know, somebody was like, don't you guys want to be having a guest every week? And I was like, it's fine if we don't, because it's just fun to hang out with Jesse and just shoot the shit with Jesse. That's,
hell yeah.
You know, that's my number one joy out of this whole thing, is just like catching up with my friend once a week.
Yeah, that's it.
So honestly, every time we don't have a guest, I'm fine.
I'll be all right. Yeah.
So
it's a treat. I'm glad we get to. Plus, how else am I going to vicariously live through your child raising years and be like, not going to happen to me. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Nope. Oh, that sounds terrible. True. That's the worst. Yeah.
I'll start stocking up the like truly, I'll add that to my list of reasons to never have a kid sort of stories.
Yeah. I'm definitely the problem. There's going to be a study in the future about like birth rates in America have declined. And I'll be like, I helped. That was me. I caused that problem. I caused the economic collapse. Like, yeah.
I don't think we're on track for that to be an issue for a while, so it's fine.
Honestly, I should make, like, what if I instead travel the world to places where they aren't have enough kids and I offer my services? right? That way my parents get the grandkids they want. I don't have to raise them because I'm like the wind, baby. I'm like the wind. Drop it.
If you're like the wind, how are your parents involved as grandparents?
Well, they know there's little Jessies out there. Like just
so just on the off chance that a little kid is made of you, they'll just be nice to all children.
Yeah, yeah. Like I think at this point my parents just want to know rather than deal with it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I could be like, yeah. Right?
God bless. You know what? Just give me a heads up if you decide to do that.
I'm gonna let you know. It sounds like a lot of work, and I will not do it.
Yeah,
it's hilarious to think about.
Seems insane, but
there's a lot of I mean, like that sounds like a lot of work. I don't want to. I could just stream instead. I'd be much better. I'd enjoy that more probably. Yeah.
All right, buddy. What have you got coming up this week? Anything? Or are you just chilling and moving?
I believe we're almost done. Fingers crossed. Next week is the last video of the year we're making. It's for Metal Gear Solid. If you've ever been a Metal Gear Solid fan and you haven't, and you want to know what the lore is, we got a whole Metal Gear Solid lore for you where we go through the old SNES games and we go through the PlayStation game leading up to what will be Delta. So you can jump in to Delta, even though technically it's the first game in the series. You need some lore in order to truly understand it. And so I got that for you. That's coming down the pipeline.
Amazing.
And I'm actually trying to make it comprehensible. Hopefully by the end, you will understand. You will understand what the hell Metal Gear is going on. Fingers crossed.
We'll see.
Yeah. And then just doing stuff, trying to beat Indiana Jones while moving. Literally today in X number of time, their ETA 11:30 a.m. So exactly 1 hour and 30 minutes from now, movers arrive. And hopefully by this time next week, I'll be in a new apartment. I may even do the episode from the apartment, depending on if my computer's set up.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
That's very exciting. I'm happy for you.
I'm excited as well.
I'm happy for that worry to just be done, right? Just for that chunk of obnoxiousness to be over.
Or not, or I'll be here next week too. Whatever.
Or not.
Or I'll be at the
something
office.
will go horribly wrong. Who knows?
Yeah. What is going on with you?
Not really much, I don't think. My kiddo's still off of school. So I'll be doing my streams, but on the adjusted schedule for when she's home and not learning things. I don't know what we're playing yet. We'll figure it out. It out. I would like to do a special shout out to whoever helped Jesse find the Born to Eat shirt. Did someone help you find that?
Everyone.
Or did you just find that on your own?
Literally every person ever on planet Earth messaged me, Jesse, is this the shirt you're talking about? And
Amazing.
Yes, that's exactly the shirt I'm talking about. Born to Eat. Whole is a F. Kill 'em all 1999. I am Gyoza Man. 410 billion dead sorcerers.
It's a good shirt.
This shirt rules. Oh, you can't even see it. It's too bright. Yeah. Oh, I love that
shirt. Mm-hmm. Jesse very quickly after the last episode followed up with a picture of the shirt. And I was like, damn, that was fast, dude. So very happy that got sorted for you. Hey, gang, thanks for sticking with us for a year. Or if you're a new listener, hopefully you'll be here for the next year. Yeah. You can find all of the previous Geekenders on youtube.com/Jesse Cox or on podcast services. We appreciate the support wherever you can give it. We're here every Friday. So we will see you next Friday. Take care of yourselves. Have a fantastic week. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, you know what time it is. It's time for the Geekenders podcast. MegaRan, Jesse and Dodger, what up? Let's go. Yo, it's the weekend. Yeah, it's time to geek out. Let it begin. Go on, stream and shout. It's Jesse and Dodger, so give them a follow and see what the Geekenders are all about. Yo, it's the weekend. Yeah, it's time to geek out. Let it begin. Go on, scream and shout. It's Jesse and Dodger, so give them a follow. #1 geek podcast, without a doubt. Yo, another end of another long week. Got a job and a kid, I know that you all beat. So take a second, grab a drink and vibe while we catch you up in just a matter of time. On gaming, comics, whatever you're doing. If you're nerdy like us, then you know you should tune in. Thank you for sharing our world with us. Now follow, subscribe, and turn this up. Yo, it's the weekend. Yeah, it's time to geek out. Let it begin. Go on, scream and shout. It's Jesse and Dodger, so give them a follow. #1 geek podcast, without a doubt.